Welcome back to Movies TV Man. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Man, and welcome to Saturday's edition of the MUFC Daily. So today we're going to go through a lot of Ralf Rangnick's quotes from yesterday's press conference, because I think they've shattered Manchester United Twitter's illusions. They've shattered the illusions of the top Reds. They are shocking and ruthless, and it's about time too. So let's give some of this a read, because I think it's fascinating. Now, some of these quotes are information based. They're not all, oh my God, but they're interesting to get into the mind of Ralf Rangnick, because we haven't really had a mentality like this since Sir Alex Ferguson, but not even he used to come out publicly and be so blatant. Rangnick on January transfers. We also need for this competitive league to have the best possible mentality. They need to be mature and have a built-in winning mentality. For me, mentality is even more crucial than anything league in the world. Whatever that means. I suppose he's talking about the strength of the league. But again, he's talking about mental strength and mentality, psychological things here. So I think weak minds sink ships. I think in Ralph's mind anyway, and you know, in terms of being strong-minded, it's not all this, you're not allowed to cry or show emotion. It's not about that. It's about a strength of character wants to evolve, you know, wants to shed away their flaws and be not perfect, but as perfect as they possibly can be. And that's what Ralph's really talking about here. We go on. Rangnick on January transfers. On the other hand, it needs to be a player that can perhaps move in the winter. Then discussions can begin to be made, but only then, if those two things come together, will it serve us well. Rangnick, my opinion on winter transfers is clear. Needs to be a player that improves the whole team. It needs to be a high quality player no matter what area of the pitch. If it's a midfielder or whatever it is, it needs to be a player that really helps us get better. I think you can expect at least another 3 signings in January. Very interesting season this is becoming for Manchester United Football Club, isn't it? Now this is ruthless. Listen to this. Just listen to this about Mike Phelan, what he says. This is just, I mean, I couldn't believe what I was reading. Rangnick. Mike Phelan does not watch the training sessions. He also did not do that when Ollie was in charge, but he's also part of the training group. He's not on the pitch when we train. Chris will not come in and replace anybody, but more fill in the gap left by Carrick. Very interesting, because he's found a way to talk about Phelan, Phelan's role at the club, while talking about a new coach. He's saying he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, he didn't do this, he didn't do that when Ollie was here. In other words, without blatantly saying it, what's the guy actually doing here? Nothing. So you can expect Phelan to be gone by the end of the season, if not sooner. Rangnick, since Michael Carrick is no longer here, we needed somebody to replace him. Chris Amas will become one of the 2 assistant coaches together with Kieran McKenna. 2 of them will help me to prepare training, to discuss video footage together with Paul Brand. Or is that the journalist? I don't know. Anyway, don't expect me to know everything. Rangnick, this is such a massive club with a fantastic support from supporters. I don't think that anyone in the club would ever need convincing to stay here. They're asking him about Paul Pogba. Very interesting comments there. Rangnick, once again, I want to say thank you to the fans. They backed the team for the whole 90 minutes against Young Boys. Although it was very much an experimental team, we knew that from the beginning, but the fans reacted and they were amazing, outstanding, in fact. Rangnick, Pogba can be an important player, but I am fully aware of all the other players we have here. I am also a coach of all the other players too. My ambition is of course to make them better, and that includes each and every player. Rangnick, what I've seen from him, Pogba, so far, I see him as a midfielder rather than a striker or a left winger. But again, once I get to know him, once he's fully fit, we can assess which position will be the best for him. Ragnick, I'm very much looking forward to working with Pogba, as I am with any of the players, as far as I know. I need to get to know him to better understand his best position. I also need to speak with him, and also it's about him being fully physically fit. Ragnick, if a player doesn't want to play for the club, like MUFC, it doesn't make sense to convince him to change his mind. This is such a massive club with fantastic support. I don't think anyone at the club should try to convince a player to stay. Wow. Wow. What a different mentality that is. He's saying basically, if you want to leave, mate, fuck off. Go. We don't care. We want people who want to play for Manchester United. It makes sense. You get better results. Keeping people at a club, forcing people in a working environment never works. It's never worked, and it never will work. But this is what I'm talking about, the ruthlessness of the man. It's sensational, and this has been a lot of fans' attitudes, and a lot of fans, you know, are applauding what Ralf did yesterday in his presser. Open, honest, and ruthless. So let's see if there's anything. No, not really. No, it's mainly Tellers. But so we don't want to know what Tellers thinks and has to say. Not that I don't love you, Tellers, but you know what I mean. So what we get here, as I say, is very ruthless and an honest account of what's going on at Manchester United. We are clearing the decks here. You know, there's a lot of players at the end of their contracts, so at the end of the season, or even in January, I mean, I think he's going to clear a lot of decks in January, but we never thought we'd be losing Anthony Martial in January. Now, I like Anthony. I think he's a great player. He's a great character, but he's never been consistent for Manchester United Football Club. That's a fact. It's the same issue with Paul Pogba. Great player, great lad, but at the end of the day, someone's getting his agent to keep on talking about where he's going to go and where he's not going to go. It's all from Paul publicly, because whether you want to stay or go, that can be done privately between you and your agent. Agents don't have to keep on coming to the media, but why does Mr. Rolo keep on coming to the media? I'll tell you why. He's playing a good old-fashioned game of bluff with Manchester United. You see, they want United to give more money, so they're trying to play chicken, 10-ton chicken, with Manchester United and say there's lots of options. The truth is, Paul Pogba has very few options, and the money that he's being offered is not what he wants. I kind of suspect in the end they'll go back to Manchester United and say, yeah, let's get this done now. And also what Ralph's saying, we're not going to beg anyone to stay. You either want to stay here or you don't. I think this is going to be a big problem for Pogba and Rolo, his agent, because at the end of the day, you know, now they've got nothing to barter with, because he's speaking for the club. He's not just speaking for himself. He's saying, listen, if you want to stay here, fine, we can improve you. If you don't, go. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. It's absolutely fantastic. So what happened in this presser yesterday leaves no misunderstandings. We don't care. This is coming from the manager. He's not blatantly saying this, but we don't care about your favourite players on Twitter. I have to improve these players and create the best team possible in the image of the legacy and DNA of Manchester United going back to the Munich air disaster. That's what Manchester United DNA is. I don't care if you love Mason Greenwood. If he fits within my team, and I do like him, he's already said he loves Mason. I love Mason too, but he's got to improve. You know, because we can keep on talking about he's a generational talent, but we don't want to get like we have with Lingard. I mean, the guy's nearly 30, he's 30 years old or whatever, and we're still seeing him as a youth player, as a young player, as potential. The potential is fucking dead. Another player, Jesse Lingard, has been inconsistent at Manchester United. And now and again, he goes on that old kind of Lionel Messi, right? Messi Lingard kind of thing. But it doesn't last. He's inconsistent. And that means, and now if he finds consistency and Ralf can get consistency from him, maybe he can stay. But I just think Unluckily for Jesse, he's at that age where Ralph wants to clear out a lot of that age group. He wants a little bit of experience and will keep some 28 to 30 years old, like Sir Alex Ferguson used to do as well. But I think mostly that kind of age group is going to be cleared out of the club. Jesse's had his time. He can go to West Ham, he can go to Newcastle. So expect a big clear out and expect it in January and in the summer. Because whether Ralph's downstairs or upstairs, the same decisions are going to be made. He's still in charge of the footballing side of this club, unfortunately for some fans and some people. But for people who want Manchester United to evolve and rebuild its epic, elite status, this is certainly the right man for the job. He has told us in that presser, in no uncertain terms, you either play the way I want you to play, you either come to the party or you're gone. But one thing's for sure, Mr. Pogba and Mr. Martial and Mr. Lingard, no one is begged to stay by Manchester United because you should be begging to stay here. This has been the MUFC Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again tomorrow, of course, for even more MUFC Daily. Until then, goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. We'll react to the game tomorrow, so be here or be square. See you later. It's be there, be square, right? I thought so. See you later.